Hi guys, so I know it's been a long time you haven't seen me. Things have just been crazy here, so I haven't been able to update, and I haven't been feeling the best for the last couple of weeks. So in this video it's going to be pregnancy week 10 to 13, so yes, you haven't seen me in 3 weeks, and I know that it's really bad that I haven't kept up with the pregnancy vlogs, but really just I haven't felt the mood to actually make a video, and I looked like death for the last 3 weeks, so it's finally coming. I know I'm a bit late and I am now 14 weeks recording this, but I still wanted to put it up because I've done every other week and I plan to do every week until the baby's born, so I can look back on it. So even though I'm late, I still wrote down some notes and stuff for each week. Not a lot, but I did try, and I just want to make this video so I can look back on it and the baby can look back on it. So we'll start with 10 weeks, and I had, for 10 weeks, symptoms go as this really horrible bloating feeling every time I ate, no matter how big or small. It could be a tiny little snack, and I would get this horrible bloated feeling, like after you've ate, say you ate a 3-course meal and you're really stuffed. I had that, but it would last all night and make me feel like I was going to be sick, but I couldn't actually physically be sick, which was quite horrible. Not being able to be sick, I felt like if I was sick then I would feel better, but I couldn't physically make myself sick. So that was a symptom for week 10, and it lasted right through until about 13 weeks, that horrible bloated sicknessy feeling. I got a lot of stretching pains in week 10, which really scared me. It was like right deep down below, not in my belly, but like in my cervixy kind of area, and I was really worried about it, thinking the worst, but it turns out that it was just stretching pains. And obviously this is my first pregnancy, so I never knew what to expect, or nobody really told me about the pains that you get as the weeks go on and your body's adjusting to the size and stuff. I thought 10 weeks is quite early for that. I don't know why. Obviously the baby's getting quite big by that stage, if you know what I mean, like, but I always thought that I would be further on before I got stretching pains. It wasn't too bad. I didn't have to take any painkillers or anything for it, so it wasn't nothing serious, just uncomfortable and obviously scary because of my past pregnancies having losses, so that was quite scary in week 10, but all that seems to have calmed down for now. Also, I'm looking over because I've got my notes on the PC, sorry. Cravings for week 10 was definitely ice poles still, anything icy, and I had a thing for slush puppies. I don't know if you know what they are, but our chip shop sells them, and every time I went to chip shop I would buy that, and Anne would actually get a meal and I would just have a slush puppy just because it was icy and it was amazing. I love icy stuff with this pregnancy. So week 11 basically continued on the same as week 10. All the symptoms were the exact same. I was feeling pretty crappy with the bloatedness and stuff, just felt like crap, never really went out, never went out much because of the bloat was constant. The stretching pains were still there on week 11, still craving ice poles, and I was barely eating. Week 12 we had our scan, our NT scan, where they check the size of the baby to date you properly, efficiently, and they check the fluid at the back of the neck for Down syndrome. Baby was not cooperating the whole time we're in the scan. Basically, baby was sitting up and it needed to be lying flat for her to measure the fluid at the back of the neck. So it turned out in the end, after about an hour of me in that appointment, 3 different types of ends on the scanning thing, on the, I don't know what's called, Doppler thing, and an internal, and a lot of jumping up and down and wriggling my belly and all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff. We gave up and she booked me in for a scan the following week because Then she tried to start dating me instead of doing the Down syndrome check, and the baby literally had its chin right down on its chest and was still sitting in an awkward position, so she couldn't get an accurate date. And she told me that I would need a definite accurate date so I could get the blood test done for the Down syndrome at my 16-week midwife appointment, and even though I got blood tests done then on that day at the scan, and because they couldn't do the fluid check on the scan, that blood test got made invalid, so they just binned that. So now I'm doing a blood test at 16 weeks with my midwife for the Down syndrome test instead of the fluid, so I'm only getting one test instead of the two, but I'm okay with that. I'm really not too concerned. There's no family history of Down syndrome or anything like that, and I've already told them if things come back high chance that there's no way I'm getting the, I can't pronounce it, amniocentesis thing, the big huge needle in your belly. I'm not getting it. I won't risk losing the baby, and I just personally don't agree or don't want it myself, and even spoke to Aaron about it and he says he doesn't want me to have it, so I'll get the blood test and we'll see what happens from there. But even if it is high chance, I'm not getting any further tests done unless it's a life-threatening problem or something they pick up. Then I would maybe consider further tests if the baby's quality of life would be really bad, or maybe the baby wouldn't make it or something like that, you know, something proper serious. I know Down syndrome's serious, but there's a lot of other illnesses that are a lot worse, and I feel like Down syndrome's one of the minor ones compared to some things you can have, and there's people with Down syndrome that have lived into adulthood and live independently and stuff, so that doesn't concern me too much at the moment, and it might change my mind, I don't know. So 12-week scan, I didn't get dated, but I was going by my dates. I would be 12 weeks 4 days at the scan, and she said I was roughly measuring about that, but she couldn't be accurate, so she couldn't put it down. And then 13 weeks, we went back again for another scan, and I actually officially got dated at 13 weeks and 4 days, so I am due the 14th of May. That is my official due date now, and this at 13 weeks I actually heard the baby's heartbeat for the very first time on my fetal Doppler, which is amazing. I haven't had any luck with it until 13 weeks exactly, and I was kind of getting a bit worried but didn't want to say anything because everybody says, like everybody on Facebook and in the groups I'm in and stuff, on pregnancy groups, have all said they found heartbeats at like 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 11 weeks, 12 weeks, and mine was 13, so I was a bit concerned about that, but I didn't stress too much about it because I am a bigger girl, so I figured that it would take a little bit more time, and I think I just generally didn't know exactly what I was looking for, and I was looking too far over to the right and not in the middle, basically. So I'd find the heartbeat, it was down, straight down from my belly button on my pubic bone line, and now I can find it every single time I want. As soon as I put the Doppler on there, it takes a second and I can find the heartbeat, so I'm happy with that. It feels more reassuring now. I definitely know that the baby's fine. I can check the heartbeat and stuff if I'm feeling a bit nervous that night or stuff. 13 weeks, I think halfway through 13 weeks, the sickness, bloated feelings finally started going away again. 12 weeks I had really bad sickness. I was actually physically sick at 12 weeks. The morning sickness had came back like double what it was before in the earlier weeks, so that was quite bad. But 13 and a half weeks-ish, the morning sickness is finally gone, and I actually had my first proper meal the other day, which was 13 weeks 6 days, yesterday. 13 weeks 6 days I had my first proper meal that I've had in weeks, because I've just not been able to eat, and it was delicious being able to actually physically eat. So yep, that's basically it for this week, I think, for all them weeks. And I will post again next week for my 14-week update. I'll see you all then. Bye.